Alright guys, I just done this video a while ago and I accidentally deleted it. So now I get to do it over again. This video is how to align your front end on your old car at home by yourself. This is not a professional way to do it. I am not a professional. I'm basically, this is to show you how to get your front end in the ballpark so you can safely drive it to a professional alignment shop to have it done correctly. So you're going to need a few items to start off with, and these items are relatively cheap. And for me, doing this, every time I do this to one of my old cars, because you know, after you build a car and you put new front end parts on, new coil springs and all that, your front end is all kinds of out of whack. So when you do this, what I'm about to show you, you can actually take it for your test drive and take your hands off the wheel and drive straight if the road's nice. So this actually works. Now it is not how to do it and leave it. You need to take it to a professional. But to safely drive it to a front end alignment shop to have it done, this will get you in your ballpark. Now I can only adjust my camber and I can only adjust my toe. I cannot adjust my caster with the stuff I have here. That's why you need to take it to a professional. So I want to say right off the bat, the reason that I'm doing this video mainly is I have an old thread at tri5.com and they had actually made it a sticky, and I had done that thread with a description I typed out and photos. Now I've always been a forum car builder. Anytime I ever built a car myself, I'd always take pictures along the way and build it and do a description and post it on that thread, project thread or build thread or whatever, for whatever forum, whatever specific forum it is. Like this car in particular, 55 Chevy. I've been a member at tri5.com since 2006. And anyway, so what has happened is the photo host site that I had used all these years, they want me to resubscribe. So all my pictures on my past thread builds, all my links are fuzzy. I am not going to renew my subscription because I have switched to YouTube to the videos, and so I will never go back to pictures. It takes 10 times longer to do a description, typing it out, and do photos than it does to do a video and click your link on your phone and upload it. Now I'm not a professional YouTuber either, and I'm not a professional front end guy. This is just how I do it. But anyway, the photo host site that I've always used through the years, it used to be free. Now it always had pop-up ads and all that crap on it. So when you'd go to upload your photos, they would play their commercials, and it was long commercials, and usually be 2 or 3 in a row. Well, it'd always lock up my computer. So it'd be very frustrating. Control-Alt-Delete, escape, nothing worked. You'd hit Control-Alt-Delete and the computer would just beep. So you'd end up having to either unplug the machine or click the power button on the power strip to get it to shut off, and then go back and reboot and do everything. Anyway, so at one point the photo host site, it come across there and it said go ad free, and it was like $15 or $12, so I went ahead and did it. And they still had pop-up ads. Instead of 2 or 3, it was 1. But you'd start to upload the photos, and then it'd stop the upload and it'd play the stupid commercial, and it would always freeze the computer, or it would mess up the picture and it'd only upload half of it. So that's when I ended up going to YouTube, and I'll never go back to photos. So all my past threads and links and stuff, the photos are fuzzy. So now I'm going to do a video of how to do this front end alignment at home, and I'm going to go back into Tri5 to that sticky, and I'm going to delete the pictures. I'm going to edit it and put this video link in its place. So now we'll get started. So you're going to need a few things. You're going to need front end alignment shims to do this. Front end alignment shims, you can get them at any parts store. The ones I have here are actually Dorman. They are all in different thicknesses. Now you can get a small package of these for like, I think they're $5 for a small pack, and I think it's 2 of each, which if you're starting out fresh and you don't have any, one little pack ain't going to do it. You're going to need 2 packs, so then you're $10 in plus tax. So what I would recommend you doing, and 2 packs may not even be enough, I would go to either eBay or Amazon, and I would buy the big kit. There's like 144 pieces. but it's only like $15 or $16 with free shipping at Amazon. I looked up one while ago. Now at Amazon, they show this style shim. And now my battery's going dead on my phone here. Sorry about that. Anyway, they show this style shim, which is square. Now this is like for front end sheet metal, like front fenders and stuff like that. This one in particular, I have some of these here. This slot is 3/8 of an inch wide, so it will not fit those 7/16 studs. But I do have some square ones here that are wider, and they do fit it. So keep that in mind as well when you're looking for shims. Now, to me, this has always been a true front end alignment shim right here, and this is for front end sheet metal. Now, at Amazon on their ad, it said body shim assortment, which should be this, but in the picture it's front end alignment shims for your front suspension. So that would be the one I would get. 144 pieces. You don't need 144 pieces, but what will save you some time is you have all those here. Now when you do your front end alignment and then you take it to an alignment shop, take your shims with you, your extras. That way you don't get charged for them. When I took a car to an alignment shop in the 90s, when I went back to pick the car up, back then the alignments were like $40. Ain't no way you can get a front end alignment for $40 nowadays. Anyway, I go in thinking I'm going to spend $40 plus tax or whatever, and I can't remember what the final price was, but they charged me $2 a piece for front end alignment shims. That was back in the early 90s. I felt robbed, you know. And you know, businesses, that's what they do. They always up the price on their parts, and that's fine. But if you want to save some money, take your shims with you and leave them there with them. Just don't forget to pick them back up when you leave. Anyway, so there's the thing on shims. You got to have your alignment shims so you can adjust up here on your A-arm studs. And the next thing you're going to need is a plastic bubble level. Now these I get at Walmart, and I haven't bought any in a few years. I know these are still there because I've seen them. I just didn't look at the price, but I think they used to be like $7. They may be the same price, maybe more, I don't know. Anyway, this is a plastic one. Now it has usually 3 bubbles on it. I think, if I remember right, the one down here that I've got cut off now was at an angle, so you don't really need it. You need the one that's straight across right here. Now if you'll notice, this is cut different. And if you'll see right there, it says 17 and 18 inch. I've wrote on there with a Sharpie. Now my rims are 17 inch, so I'll take that where I've cut it off, and I stick it on the rim lip, top and bottom. And I look at that bubble, and I doubt you can see that, but the bubble's not where it needs to be. And I am not aligning my car. I'm just doing this video to repost at Tri5 to get rid of those fuzzy pictures. I'm going to wait until my whole car's put together so all the weight's on the front end and it's going to be where it's going to be. But anyway, you want to zero that bubble out in that level with front end alignment shims, either taking them off or putting them on. So keep that in mind. Now, like I said, I can only do camber and I can only do toe with what I'm showing you. I cannot do caster. I don't have the stuff here to do that. So that would be the case where like you see some A-arms, they have more shims in the front or the back than the other. You know, there's not the same amount on each stud. But for me, I've always done, like, to zero that level out, I'll do like 3 and 3. It's always an even amount. And I've never had an issue with one correcting itself after you turn, like the factory old manual steering on a 55. You know, you'll turn a corner, it'll always, you know, the steering wheel will start coming back on its own. I've never had a problem, and I've always been able to take my hands off the wheel. Now the other thing you're going to need, this is what I do. There's guys that have posted on that thread, and they've showed using a piece of string or a tape measure or 2x4s with pieces of steel screwed to them or whatever. You can buy old school tools, you know, the rulers or whatever that's adjustable. I'm not sure what it's really called, but this is just what I use. This is $5 at Walmart. This is a adjustable curtain rod for your house, and this end's thinner than this end, and that's because it goes in and out of itself. So this is awesome, and this one's pretty heavy. It's pretty thick. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty thick steel. It's not the old thin, flimsy gold ones that I remember having as a kid in my room. But anyway, if you can see that, I have a fine blue line drawn on here. That's from a past alignment. I will, after I end the video, I'll wipe this off with mineral spirits. But what you'll do with this is you'll get under here and you'll stick this up there directly to the bottom of your A-arms where they're touching, and then you'll push it over there to your rim lip on the inside, and then you'll pull it out until it hits the inside lip on this other side. And then I'll take that Sharpie and I'll, right there where they're put together, and I'll draw that line. So then I'll climb under and I'll go to the back and check it. And usually you readjust it, and then you draw another line, and then you can kind of pull it apart and look at it and see how far apart you are. So you adjust your tie rod sleeves until you get it to where the curtain rod fits exactly the same width front and back. Now, the back, you don't need to. What you originally want to think is you need, like if you get that curtain rod here on the wheel, you'll want to think that you'll want to go exactly half of that wheel in the back. Well, you can't get up that high to get that directly across 50-50 because your Tri-5 Chevys are rear steering stuff. The steering stuff is in the rear of the cradle. So when you push that curtain rod up, you're going to hit the tie rod deal, or the steering knuckles, basically. It doesn't matter. Even if you go just 4 or 5 inches back with that curtain rod, and you get it, you adjust them until that curtain rod fits there and 5 or 6 inches or whatever back. As long as that is exactly the same, that's the way it's going to be around the whole rim. You don't have to be exactly half. So keep that in mind. So front end alignment shims, plastic bubble level, adjustable curtain rod. Now, I'm alone 99.9% of the time out here, so the curtain rod for me is the best way to go. If you try to do a tape measure by yourself laying on your back, and you're on one side of the car and you're feeding that tape measure over there, it's going to get a little wonky on you and you may not get it in the exact same spot. The curtain rod, when you stick it in there and shove it up there, it's in its exact spot. So for me, it's just easier. You can do it however you want. Again, I'm not a professional front end guy, and I'm just basically showing you how you can get this close enough to where you can drive safely to the alignment shop. There's other things you need to keep in mind. The first thing an alignment shop does when they pull your car back there, they check the tire pressure in your tires and make sure they're all 4 identical. You don't want a low tire because your body will be wonky. Your car will be sitting cockeyed. So make sure you have all 4 of your tires aired up. Also, you want all the weight on the vehicle. You want it all the way either up on ramps or down on the ground. You don't want it jacked up because it's not going to be right. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, and a lot of you guys are probably in the same shape, if you're going to do this, you've probably built your car yourself in your garage, but you need to take it to a front end alignment shop, and you don't want to trailer it, you want to drive it, so you want to get it as close as you can. Now keep in mind, if you put in all new front end parts and brand new coil springs, your coil springs need to take a seat. They need to settle, basically. So what I would recommend is take the car out and test drive it, drive it a little bit. Do it all with your front end alignment, because when it does settle, it's not a lot. It's still probably good enough to drive to the alignment shop. But after I come back from my initial test drive, I always go back and recheck everything, and it's always changed. It's not drastic, but it's enough that makes me go back and change it. This alignment job here, doing it yourself, it would also be awesome, especially if you say you got your car finalized on a Friday evening after work and it was able to be driven. You could do this redneck alignment and take your car out and work the bugs out of it and drive it and test drive it and stuff. Because Monday, when you call the alignment shop, they're not going to be able to get you in that day. You're going to have to set up an appointment, and it may be a week or 2 weeks out. So you could still enjoy your car because you've got it close enough where it's not going to eat up your new tires. I know there's guys that have a lot more expensive tires than I've got on my car, and I sure don't want mine all kinds of crazy and then just take off test driving it with it out of whack. I've had one that I put together so bad that it squealed when you drive down the road because the tow was so bad on it. But anyway, guys, that's mainly just doing this thread to, like I said, update the Tri-5 thread and get rid of the pictures and replace it with this video. That way the video will always be there and the pictures will not be because they're already fuzzy. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all you need. And again, I'm not a professional front-end alignment guy. Never have been. I'm just telling you how I do it. And if you can pick up something from it, that's great. So anyway, I'm going to get back to work.